welcome to a new episode of Showing Up Solo. These days, it's not enough to be a small business owner. You also have to be an online marketing expert, an accountant, a website designer, a content creator, and the list goes on. You know how important marketing is, but if you're spending all your time selling your services, how will you have any time left to actually provide them? That's where Showing Up Solo comes in. Showing Up Solo is a video podcast giving you the ins and outs of online marketing from solopreneurs just like you. Tune in every other Wednesday for easy-to-implement advice, guest experts, and plenty of food analogies. Thanks for tuning in, and now, on to the main episode. Hi, welcome to another episode of Showing Up Solo.
That's right.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about Pinterest.
Ooh. I don't know about you. My introduction to Pinterest was planning my wedding.
Yeah, you know what? I think mine was recipes.
Recipes, yeah. I started Pinterest pinning things for my wedding, and then it became recipes and craft projects, and it is another one of those search engines basically that you go to. Like if I want to know if I'm looking for a recipe, I'm going to go to Pinterest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I'm looking for interior design inspiration, I'm going to go to Pinterest.
If I want to look for a new haircut, I go to Pinterest.
Oh my God, yes. I have a haircut board.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you do.
Yeah.
So it is another place people go to find out stuff. And just like it is, it's like you just put a pin in it. You're like, I'm going to save this for later, right? You may not click through and read whatever's attached to it, but you just like, you're scrolling through and you're like, oh my God, like lemon sage buttered chicken casserole. Oh, save that.
Yeah.
You know, may never make it, but the picture was pretty and like it's you've got it there. You know it's there.
Well, and also the platform is intuitive to what you're searching for, what your usual kind of behaviors are. So when you go in and you go into your home screen, it's gonna be like recipes, wedding outfits, hairdos.
Yep. Yes.
You know? And it's always nice when you get those like recommendations that are like really good because you're like, okay,
yes,
they actually do know what I like or what I'm looking for.
Yes. I've used it a lot for planning kids' birthday parties, actually. And so you'll type in, like, we did a ladybug-themed birthday party one year. And what's lovely is, like, it's not just, like, there's decorations, there's recipes, there's, like, cute little things you can do with foods and activities. And you start to go down, like, as you go on these little journeys. Like, let's say I really start to dig into the recipes. It shows me more recipes and more recipes.
Yeah.
Because the platform is designed really well to give you more of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So it is a really good platform to have your content on.
Yeah.
Because it's where people go to research.
Well, and it's also, like you said, it's another search engine. So it's promoting and extending your reach to your ideal client.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So there is a social element in the sense that you can comment and like on things, but I personally I've never done that.
No, neither have I actually.
No.
And I always didn't really truly understand the outside followers component to it because it'd be like someone joined your board and I was like, I don't know how you joined my board in the past, right?
Yes, yeah. I had someone do that. I'm like, why are you following my wedding board?
Yeah.
Like, but people can, if they like your content, they will follow you. And so if you happen to be the person creating the content, that's really great.
Yeah.
So I guess the question then is, what do you, as an online service provider, as a business owner, how do you make use of this really powerful search engine to promote your business?
Yeah. So really knowing what kind of content to share on there that makes it beneficial to the work output that you're doing.
Yeah. So just for some language terminology for anyone who's not familiar with Pinterest. So Pinterest is a platform where you go on and you type in something that you're looking for, and then it pops up with what's called pins, which are just little images or graphics. Sometimes it's just with words on it, sometimes it's images, sometimes it's words and images, and like a little like recipe for this. It's got like each pin has a title and a little caption.
Yeah.
And what you do is if you like something, you pin it, which is essentially you save it to your profile, and you have boards, which are just essentially like folders on your desktop.
Yeah, you're just categorizing it.
You can save things to multiple boards. It is, like it said, like the name implies, it's basically, imagine having a bunch of cork boards.
Yep.
And pinning inspiration to places in those categories. That's what it is. So you as a business owner, you can put your pins there, and the content that you pin is you essentially, let's say you have a blog post, how to do X in 10 steps.
Yeah.
Right? And then what you do is you create pins, so graphics or something that's maybe like an image with text, how to create X in 10 steps.
Yeah.
And you put your caption and your title, and you send that out into the Pinterest world. And then someone who's searching, how do I do X? Your pin will come up, and they can save it, or they can click on the pin and it'll take them back to your blog post.
Yeah.
And that's how it's effective for business owners.
Exactly. So anyone who's creating long form content like blogs or videos
or podcasts,
it's another great tool to draw people essentially to your website or to your YouTube account, to your podcast account, because you're trying to draw them into watching or viewing more of your content.
And people can share your pins. So if I, for example, found something that I knew Nicole would like, I can share it with her. I can say, hey, I found this pin. I think you'd like it too.
Yeah.
So it's a really easy way to share, that users can share content.
Yeah. So obviously, as a business owner, the more reach you have with your content, the more eyes you have for your ideal client, essentially.
The more chance you'll be found by your ideal client.
Yeah.
The other thing that it really helps with is what's called backlinks.
Yeah.
So if you're familiar with SEO, search engines, basically they have little robots that go literally crawl the internet and like read all websites that are out there and then categorize them. And they like to see if it's a legitimate website. And they do that by seeing if other people have linked, like other sites have linked back to that site and the reputation of those sites. So Pinterest has a good reputation. And so when you link your content on Pinterest, you're creating a backlink from Pinterest to your website.
Oh.
So you're increasing your website's reputation, or boosting your SEO, as you'll hear people talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if someone were to start into Pinterest, what would be the first 5 things that they need to think about?
So obviously, set up a business account on Pinterest, not your personal one. Set up a business account, and you can create a really nice background banner.
Yeah, you can really customize your branding.
Yeah. And then think about your content pillars. What are you going to talk about? And not what you want to talk about, but what does your audience want you to talk about?
Yeah, what are they searching?
Yeah. So if for example, with us, so we talk a lot about email marketing. So we'd have an email marketing board.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about social media. So we'd have a social media board. Or maybe we'd have a Instagram board and a Facebook board and a LinkedIn board and a YouTube board. But think about what you're going to talk a lot about. And then what you do is you start by going out and finding other people's content that you can pin to your boards as a way to start building up some content that's on there.
Yeah.
And then you start to put your content out there too. And if you're just starting from scratch, make sure you do pins for all of your blog posts.
Yeah.
I I like to do 10 at a time, really. I'll just whip up 10.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be complicated. Like what I'll do is, so with our brand colors, we have blue and green.
Yeah.
So I will do 5 pins with the blue color, and then I'll just copy them in Canva and then just change all the blue to green.
Yeah.
So I only designed 5, but they look like 10. And there's lots of templates on Canva.
I was just going to say, and what about the size for Pinterest? Because is the graphic design size the same, or?
There's a couple different sizes you can use on Pinterest. You can technically now send your Instagram posts straight to Pinterest, but they're square.
Yeah.
The format for a Pinterest pin is 2x3. Right?
Okay.
So it's 2x3.
Yeah, it's more portrait. Yeah.
It is, yeah. You can do a longer one, but I don't know. The Pinterest prefers the 2x3. It looks nice amongst the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have open your account, customize your branding,
open your account, create your boards.
Yeah. Start pinning like stuff to your boards.
Yeah.
Then start creating pins to add to your boards.
Yeah.
Is there one more, or is there something that we...
Well, see, there's another level to it. So there is an element. So there's a social media scheduler called Tailwind. And when we have I use Tailwind for my Pinterest especially, because they have a feature called Tailwind Communities. And so what that is they're groups of content creators who are putting their content out onto Pinterest, and you can contribute content to that group, and it's agreed upon that, like, for example, every 1 pin you contribute, you will pin 2 pins from someone else.
Okay.
And share that to your Pinterest profile.
So it's ensuring that everybody's getting growth.
Exactly.
Cool.
And it's not like these ladders and follow trains, because the groups are like, you find people with similar ideal clients as you. Or if you're really clever, you find a group where you kind of fit into both.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Where your ideal client is versus other for example, mompreneurs is one that I'm in, and online service providers. Well,
yeah.
I am an online service provider, but I also help online service providers.
Yeah.
So you find these communities, and then you contribute your content and you pin their content. And then this wonderful button on Tailwind is shuffle. It just mixes everything up and auto posts it out. I post 10 pins a day.
Yeah.
I have my content scheduled until usually 6 months ahead.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all I do is every time I create a new podcast episode or blog post, and I say every time, actually, like maybe once a quarter, I'll sit down and I'll have a real Pinteresting session. And I'll, I know, it's very Pinteresting.
Very cute.
I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, I've got 3 episodes, I've got 3 blog posts. So I create 10 for each of those. So suddenly now I have like 180. No, is that the math right? Yeah. Because it's 10 for each.
Yeah.
If I have 6, it's 60.
Yeah.
God, I can't do math today.
Doubled it. That's okay.
So yeah, 60. So then I suddenly have 60 pins that I can put out there.
That's crazy though.
And then if I share all of those pins to the communities, and I do the pin 2 for every one I add.
Yeah.
Then it's 100
more.
Yeah, because then I pin 120 from the community.
Yeah.
So then I have 180, and if I'm posting 10 a day, it just you shuffle it in.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people, and myself included, have been overwhelmed by Pinterest because they didn't understand the steps like that. You see the value of like using it personally. However, how does it work when you're trying to get your content out there? And how do you use it in a way that isn't overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, and that's the secret.
Yeah.
Batch it.
Yeah.
Spend some time. The reason I'm so ahead is because I took a week back in 2021, and I was just like, okay, Hannah, you're gonna get, like, you've got a bunch of blog posts, you've got your website, you're gonna get all your pins created. So I created a pin for every blog post I had. I also had digital products, so I created pins for those digital products. You have to be careful with that, but you can pin for products.
Okay.
I think you can pin for products. It's harder to pin for services.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But then I also did pins for my website pages.
Yeah.
So like my about section and my homepage and my services, my testimonials.
Yeah.
So I created hundreds of pins. I'd like podcast appearances. If I'd been on someone else, if I go on someone else's podcast, I'll create 10 pins for that podcast episode.
Yeah.
So I went and I just created all these pins for all these pieces of content I had, and I loaded them all up, and that gave me a head start so that now I can just, every new piece, I'll just create 10 more.
Yeah.
Put them in, hit shuffle.
Yeah.
And I know they're there, you know, and I can go in and visit the communities. I can pin a few and shuffle.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and you can keep your feed looking really consistent. If you keep your brand colors and you pin other people's content that matches well with your brand colors, you can have a really aesthetically pleasing feed. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, like, it's debatable how important that is. There's different schools of thought there.
I was just going to say, I've heard different schools of thought, of really encouraging the aesthetic. And then I've also seen that it doesn't matter about the aesthetic. It's all about the quality of the content.
Yeah. And I think the key is to have words on your pin.
Yeah.
So don't just have an image, because the image will get pinned because it's pretty, but not necessarily because anyone's going to read it.
Yeah.
If you want someone to click through and read it, tell them what they need to know.
Yeah.
So have a title on it. And Pinterest actually picks up the text. It reads the text on the images and factors that into the search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually very intuitive, the technology.
Yeah. Also, Pinterest is one of the few platforms that encourages evergreen content, that doesn't mind you posting to the same original piece of content multiple times. Mm-hmm. They just want fresh pins. Yeah. So like once all 10 of the ones for that blog post have gone out, I can create another 10 pins, and I just need to do the design again or change the colors. Yeah. Because Pinterest doesn't mind if you change the colors, or maybe the stock image gets changed.
Yeah. So if you're really trying to focus your content strategy into an evergreen style, Pinterest sounds like a really great avenue to focus in if you're someone who creates a lot of long form content.
Pinterest, I think if you're creating long form content, Pinterest should be part of your marketing strategy. Yeah. You do need to consider, is your user using Pinterest? Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe a CEO level, like a C-suite level person isn't going to look for their next contractor on Pinterest. Yeah. But if you're someone whose potential client is someone like us, you know, maybe they're a solopreneur, or they're a mom and they're already on there looking for other stuff. Yeah. It's a really useful platform. Yeah. And again, it boosts your SEO, which is great. That's always...
Well, think of like the industries that, like, you know, business, consulting, coaching, counseling, self-help. Yeah. You know, those kind of industries, like, people are searching for information of like how to improve or get better. Right?
Yes. So I would say therapists, you should be using Pinterest. Yeah. If you are in nutrition or weight loss or even undieting, you should be using Pinterest. Yeah. Because that's what people are looking. They're looking for recipes, or they're looking for mental health support. Yeah. They're looking for inspiration.
They're looking for toolkits or resources or templates, things that they can, like, you know, go to your website, download, or, you know, obtain for free, you know, things like that.
Yeah. And it's not the kind of platform where you're going to see results overnight. Mm-hmm. Because again, what the user behavior is, they're going to save it for later. But the more they save your content, the more Pinterest will show them your content. The more you're in the back of the head, the more likely they are to click through to your website and take it a step further.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you have to remember as well, is it's one of those platforms you're not going to see the results on the platform.
Yeah.
You're going to see the results in your business, and make sure you have that ever important, like, how did you find this question?
Yeah.
And like, so that you can find out if Pinterest is working for you.
So if you're really thinking about where your business is going in terms of your online marketing, Pinterest is something to consider.
Yes, it is. And it's a low maintenance platform. You don't have to log on and engage with people all the time.
Yeah.
You can just set it and forget it.
Yeah. Commit to doing some batching. And then, it's set for you for a little while.
Yeah. And we're all about batching. So if you're going to be batching, just set aside a week, a quarter if you can. And that's when you're going to sit down, you're going to batch all your content, you're going to batch all your social media captions, you're going to batch all your pins, you're going to pop in your scheduler, hit shuffle, and then you can just focus on, serving your clients and nurturing relationships. Yeah.
So that's pretty much what
Pinterest in a nutshell.
That is Pinterest in a nutshell.
Hope you found it Pinteresting.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
So thank you for joining us for another episode, and we can't wait to see you next time.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you're a fan of the Showing Up Solo podcast, you can show your support by liking, commenting, sharing, or leaving a review. Want to spend less time on your marketing and make better content? Head to showingupsolo.com to grab your free copy of our Full Circle Content Guide, the same time-saving method we use for creating our own content. Need more help getting your marketing in order? Learn how to build a marketing plan while working smarter, not harder. Our Setup for Success package gives you everything you need to create a marketing plan that is low maintenance, high impact, and perfect for generating consistent leads. Head to showingupsolo.com for more info. See you next episode.